Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Yes, today is Thursday, and don't forget to give Crocodile a follow. It does me work, but let's start with greets before we get into the title. Hello, my name is Daniel. I is here.
Guy in the chair.
He said it! He said it!
And yes, today we're here with the Crocodile, as to say, on Alien Earth and why he thought it was a wild ride. So, enjoy.
Wow, I've been on quite the roller coaster ride with Alien Earth. The moment the show was announced, my reaction was, wait, what? You're making another Alien prequel? Jesus, this franchise has been Brendan Gleeson so hard that Arthur Fleck must feel bad for it. I'm actually starting to feel sorry for the xenomorphs at this point. Then the first trailer came out, and much to my surprise, it actually looked pretty good. Just like Alien Romulus, it captured the look and feel of the Alien universe perfectly, offering up another healthy portion of sci-fi horror and action with some interesting new possibilities for expanding the lore. And the first episode seemed to confirm my hopes. There was action and spectacle, gorgeous visuals and production design, a talented cast, gory body horror, sinister corporate conspiracies, grizzled-looking crewmen sitting around smoky briefing rooms, and a thoughtful exploration of a facet of the Alien universe that often gets neglected. Holy shit, maybe this show was actually going to be decent. I even said as much on Twitter while ranting about some retarded journalist who sees literally all of entertainment as a gender identity seminar.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
But time really does make fools of us all, because soon enough Team Retard arrived in the shape of episode 2, and all that interesting world building, smart character development, and thought-provoking ideas went out the window in favour of tired, predictable chase scenes, over-the-top kills, idiot characters who roll the dice on intelligent decision-making and come up with snake eyes every single time, goofy humour that's more out of place than a daycare centre in a strip club, and direction so amateurish that it makes Yui Bo look like Stanley Kubrick. In short, my experience with Alien Earth has been a fucking wild ride so far, and not in a particularly good way. Let us discuss. The show follows two main plot threads. Thread the first is set aboard a deep space research ship that's transporting all kinds of alien nasties back to Earth for experimentation, which is a bit of a weird idea in the first place. Like, why bring them all the way back to Earth when there's all kinds of jurisdictional issues, government oversight, and the potential for a containment failure that could spread to the general population? Why not some isolated colony or space station where you can do all your sinister corporate stuff in peace? Anyway, whatever. So the crew goes into hypersleep, but oh no, the aliens do what aliens always do and escape, kill most of the crew, and damage the ship's navigational system somehow. Flash forward a few months and the ship crash lands in the middle of a crowded city on Earth. I mean, I'm pretty sure a ship of that size traveling at orbital velocity would impact with the force of a nuclear blast and vaporize everything within a 10-mile radius, but let's not think about that too much. With casualties everywhere, search and rescue teams are sent in to secure the ship and rescue any survivors, only to realize there's something far more sinister on boards. The second thread follows Marcy, a terminally ill girl who's been taken to a private island by a billionaire. I'm not sure I like where this one's going. Anyway, Marcy's put through an experimental procedure to transfer her consciousness into a new android body as part of a larger project to extend human lifespan. Pretty soon she's joined by a gang of other kids who all went through the same process, and because I guess the writers are fans of Peter Pan, she becomes Wendy and the others take on the names of the Lost Boys.
But you're not all boys. So? But I guess it doesn't really matter.
You know, I'm not entirely sure the writers understand the themes of Peter Pan. I mean, I get that it's all cool and artistic to juxtapose a classic piece of children's fairy tale literature against the existential cosmic horror of the xenomorphs, because it's like a sharp contrast and stuff. But I can't shake the feeling that they're trying to fit a thematic square peg into a round hole with this one. Peter Pan was a story about the childish fear of growing up, of taking on the responsibilities and burdens of adulthood, of getting physically older and inevitably facing up to their own mortality. This is a story about children literally placed into adult bodies that will never age, forced to grow up quickly and adapt to their new situation. If anything, they're eager to become the adults on the inside that they look like on the outside. It's the exact opposite of Peter Pan. Whatever. All seems to be going well for Wendy until news of the ship crash reaches them and she sees footage of her brother Joe going in with the rescue teams. She wants to help him out, so she petitions her superiors to be sent in with the Lost Boys as a rescue team, and for some reason, they actually agree to it.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary,
What?
come again.
Like, you understand that you're basically sending children into a highly dangerous and highly traumatic situation with no weapons or training, right? Aside from the fact that they could easily get destroyed and wipe out billions of dollars of investment, how do you think they're gonna react when they see dead bodies and horribly injured victims? Shit like that can cause veteran soldiers to freak out, never mind kids that have never seen anything more violent than an episode of SpongeBob. Well, just don't worry about it, I guess. So they get to the crashed ship and head inside, but oh no, it's been overrun by all the escaped alien species. There's a xenomorph on the loose, and they even had to contend with the ship's science officer who's got his own agenda. I said earlier, there's stuff I appreciate about this show, and one of those things is the world building. I've always been kind of curious what the Earth of the alien universe actually looks like, what daily life under Weyland-Yutani is like for the average citizen, how the culture and even the cityscapes have changed over the years. And to its credit, Alien Earth makes a decent effort to show us this, explaining the balance of power between the various megacorporations who run the planet now, and what each of them is trying to achieve. And big props to the production designers here. They've managed to strike that neat balance between replicating the rough and ready 1970s aesthetic and technology of the original movie, but updating it just enough in the right places to keep it consistent with actual progress in our own worlds. The concept of artificial life that was always kind of a side note in the Alien movies now forms the backbone of this show's story. What can you actually do with this kind of technology? What are the implications for human consciousness and our evolution as a species? It's interesting stuff, and the first episode takes the first tentative steps towards exploring these questions. The cast is a strong mix of experienced veterans and promising young talent. Timothy Oliphant is always an entertaining performer, but he's uncanny here as the android Kirsch, with his unblinking stare and his Roy Batty haircut. Babu Sise is another standout as the ship's science officer gone rogue, where you're never sure what side he's on. I don't know if they intentionally cast a guy who looks like Yaphet Kotto from the original movie, but either way the resemblance is uncanny. And props to Sydney Chandler as Wendy, who's got just the right mix of wide-eyed innocence and steely determination, even if she's been lumbered with the worst haircut in all of Hollywood. Seriously, Lloyd Christmas is not a character aesthetic you want to aspire to. Like I say, there's some great building blocks in place for this one, which makes it all the more frustrating when episode 2 takes a wrecking ball to them. Characters make absolutely absurd decisions, like splitting up and venturing all around a dangerous crashed ship filled with unknown alien life forms instead of immediately evacuating and calling for backup. Dialogue is so on the nose and weighed down with exposition that I felt like I was listening to an audio description of what was going on. I know people talk about second screen viewing, but this really isn't a show that should aspire to that kind of bullshit benchmark. Joe, Wendy's brother, is such an unbelievably incompetent pussy that I was actually rooting for the guy to get killed, since it's clearly what he wants. Seriously, how did this guy ever make it through basic training? He looks like a strong breeze, or a harshly worded tweet would absolutely break him. Also, the idea of having children in adult bodies facing off against aliens might have sounded good in a brainstorming session where everyone was high on coke, but the reality is the Lost Boys are annoying as fuck, completely idiotic, and there's far too many of them to do any real character development. The first 2 Alien movies were compelling because for the most part the humans were smart and logical and made the best decisions they could under the circumstances. You rooted for them because you understood them and you identified with them. I don't care about any of the Lost Boys because 1, they can't feel pain or injuries, 2, they can't be impregnated by facehuggers, and 3, well, they're fucking idiots. Even the xenomorph is kind of retarded now. One thing that people seem to overlook about the aliens is that they're not really out to kill you. Yeah, they sometimes cause collateral damage in the heat of battle, but what they really want is to capture you and use you as a host to reproduce. Here though, the xenomorph just mindlessly butchers every human it comes into contact with, like Leatherface after several pints of Red Bull. It's just so reductive and boring, and it misses the real horror of what these things are about. I mean, it's not exactly hard for the alien to do what it does either. Alien Earth slides neatly into one of the tropes that I absolutely despise in movies. Humans with guns that never work because they magically forget how to use them because the script says so. I'm not kidding, there's easily 4 or 5 different scenes where a human character could absolutely wipe out the xenomorph with a single blast of a pulse rifle, but they either hesitate at a crucial moment or miss an easy shot or just stand there like fucking assholes. It's embarrassing and completely infuriating in a show like this. Ultimately, it's hard for me to know what to make take of Alien Earth because it's offered up such wildly conflicting extremes. Is it going to be a smart and mature sci-fi horror with philosophical undertones, or a dumb as fuck slasher action flick with the alien name plastered over it? We're only 2 episodes in, so I can't say for sure at this point, but my hopes for this one are rapidly fading. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed episode 1 and 2 and 3 now that came out, but I'm gonna finish the whole story. I like it so far. Nah, it does have some iffy moments in it, but that's just crappy writing, but we'll get over it. We can love it, but either way, I'm surprised he liked the first episode, but didn't really care for the second. But what can we do? It's all in the writing, but either way, if you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and share, and then finally subscribe button. I hope you had an awesome night, and the rest of the day goes really well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.